Nothing like starting your day crammed in a tin can with 50 strangers who all hate mornings as much as you do.
If I stare at this screen any longer, I'm pretty sure my brain's gonna leak out my ears. Gourmet dining at its finest. Nothing says living the dream like eating salad alone under hospital lights.
And just like that, the 30 minutes of freedom are over, back to the grindstone. I think I'll email Tracy to send over that spreadsheet I've been asking for over a week.
8 hours of my life, gone in the blink of an eye, just so I can do it all again tomorrow.
This right here makes every miserable hour at that desk almost worth it. I love nature.
Desk job's done, suits off. Now it's time to find out what the night's got for a guy like me. Maybe I'll even meet that special someone.
This is not the nightlife I was hoping for. I've just got to stay hidden from these wackos and see if they pass. It's getting past my bedtime. I have work tomorrow.
So hopefully you got a kick out of that AI video of Tim the Bigfoot with his regular office day job. And you can create things like this too. It's very easy, and it took me probably about 15 seconds of work per shot or per clip, as you saw. I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, I did post a video just yesterday about how to do this with Google VEO3, and it's kind of already slightly out of date already. It just shows you how fast this AI is moving. Now, in that video, you will get access to a different GPT that I created. It's a custom GPT where you can create prompts for specific results. You can go watch that video if you really want to. I'll link it at the end of this video in case you forget. But really, what I want to talk about today is how to create these selfie style vlog type of videos, and how to get consistent results, because sometimes it doesn't look like he's holding the camera, and ultimately we want to make it look like he's holding the camera, as you can see here. So there's going to be scenarios where you need to keep in mind when creating this type of result. Now, this doesn't just apply to Bigfoot or Sasquatches or anything like that. You can do kangaroos, you can do stormtroopers, chimpanzees, lots of different aspects that you can apply this to, or characters you can apply this to. So I'm going to show you how to get consistent results, because one issue people run into is trying to get consistent character outputs. One character could look very different in this shot as opposed to the next shot, and you're trying to get that consistency, but also just get them to hold the camera, because sometimes AI doesn't get that right. So I created a custom GPT that you can access with the link in the description. I'll send it to you if you go ahead and access it or request it, and I'll send it to you. And what you can do is use this custom GPT that I have created to get the exact prompt that you want. So for example, I am going to create a prompt with this custom GPT so that I get what I want. And I'm going to be using ChatGPT to do this. And you could use the free versions, totally fine. And then what you're going to be doing is taking that output, put it into Google Labs, which is labs.google, or alternatively, you can use Gemini. So Gemini can also do this, but keep in mind, if you're using the paid version, which you have to do, you can get, I think it's about 5 video outputs per day. So you don't essentially run out of credits, but you do have a daily limit of how many of these you can generate. With Google Flow, you can create as much as you want as long as you have credits, which you can click the button up here, the Ultra button. That's the plan I have. Whatever plan you have, you can click on that. It shows you how many credits you have left. You can top it up if you need to, but you can go for as long as you have credits. Now, Google has made these outputs much cheaper too, and I'll show you how to navigate all of this and how to create this cheaper, because previously it's pretty expensive to do this kind of stuff. So first, let's start with the prompt. What I'm going to do is, this custom GPT knows everything that you need, and I've told it to give you exactly what you want. I've given it all the context so you don't have to. There's a couple things that you might want to specify if you want to have things more tailored to your video, because adding uniqueness is going to help. So for example, if you want to plan the story that you're going to tell, kind of like what I showed in the beginning of this video with Tim the Bigfoot, what you want to do is start with that. So for example, create a story and shot list before we start prompting for AI. So what I've done is I want to know what story it's going to tell before we just create the prompts. So you can do that, and I highly suggest that, but you can also just do prompt for a Yeti, and it's going to just create the prompt for you, have everything you need in order to create a Yeti. Now, there's no real direction for AI. It's just doing what it thinks it should do, but you haven't given it a story, or you haven't worked on a story yet. So what we're going to actually do is, put that prompt in. So I'll paste that in here about creating the shot list before we prompt for AI. So here's the structure for the story. Stranded stormtrooper on Tatooine, vlog style. Story overview. It's going to give you the shot list, and then what you can do is just respond here with I like this, I don't like this, take this out, keep this, stuff like that. And so what it's going to be doing is creating a shot list for you for each. It's calling them episodes, but it's really just a shot. So a crash here and realization. And so it's got all of our shots here. It's put 7 together, and what we can do is do start. And what it's going to do is create the first prompt for our AI. So essentially what it's doing here is it's describing the stormtrooper, and the first character that is described in these prompts is going to do the talking. Generally, that's how Google Gemini, or their VEO3 model works, is the first person that is mentioned or described, they're going to talk. And so that's kind of how we structured the response. And it's talking about, or it's providing the prompt on what the stormtrooper is saying here. It's talking about the style. So let's actually just go into Google Flow, or this is labs.google, which is what I like to use, because you can have 5 prompts going at a time. You don't have to wait. So if I create a new project here, what you can do is change the model. So Google used to have just VEO2 fast, quality, and then quality beta with audio. So they've recently added fast with text and video beta, which is much cheaper. It's 20 credits instead of 100, which is what you normally would want to use if you wanted audio. But now Google's made it so much cheaper. So we're going to select that model. We're going to just paste our prompt and just send it. One thing I do need to mention is that using the fast and quality are going to be different. So when you're using the cheaper version, still with audio, you're not going to get as good of a response as if you were to use quality. Now, obviously the quality is 100. It's a lot more expensive. You will get better results, better responses. However, if you wanted to make sure that your prompt is working, or honestly take a little bit of a risk and see if it gives you what you want, which often what I've been able to get is what I wanted. There's been occasional times where it doesn't get it right, and the characters maybe like reaching out but not actually holding the camera like a selfie style. You might get some of those responses, and you might have to kind of tweak the prompt a little bit based on the cheaper model that you're using. But overall, it still works really well. And the intro sequence that you saw with Tim, the Bigfoot, selfie vlogging, that was the result I got with a cheaper model. So it still works really well. What I should have done when pasting that prompt is not copy the top part of this, because that's the response to me. So I should have just copied and pasted this, but we'll see what it does with that. Maybe it'll be, what we want. Now this generates quicker than with the VEO3 quality beta audio. So keep that in mind. So this shouldn't take as long as what those others usually do. Now, one thing to keep in mind is if it just doesn't seem to get it right, and you've altered the prompt so many times, it just doesn't seem to do what you want it to do. I find that Labs, the Labs app, as opposed to the Gemini app, is a little more unstable. So what I sometimes do is go to Google Gemini, hit the video button here, and what I'll do, you can see I've got 2 more generations for today. I'm going to take the first part of this prompt out. I'll go to Gemini, and I will send that in Gemini with this video option selected. And sometimes this is more stable, and it's going to create sometimes more tailored to what your request is, and sometimes just does better for some reason. The only issue when downloading from here is you can only download it in 720p, as opposed to in Google Flow, or Labs I should call it. You can download it in upscale 1080p and with the audio. They've fixed that so that now you can download it with audio, which is quite nice. So it's created it. Let's see what it has created.
I don't know where the others are. The speeder's gone. But the Star Destroyer's still up there. I have to get back.
That's quite impressive. I've done that in real time. Now, if you add this to scene, it's going to create a scene builder. Now, I've seen people try this. You can do jump to or extend. If you do jump to, it's actually going to use the first frame here. And if you put your prompt in on doing something, it actually doesn't do very well. It's quite unfortunate and annoying, and you can't take off this frame to generate something based on what this character looks like. It doesn't take that into context very well. Alternatively, if I do jump or extend, it doesn't extend it very well either. For some reason, I don't know why Google, or maybe I just haven't been using it right. Maybe you know, but it just doesn't seem to be doing well. So ultimately, what you really want to do is, I'm going to remove that from the scene builder. I'm going to refresh it because it shouldn't be duplicated. And so what I'm going to do is in ChatGPT, I'm going to do next. And it's going to create the next prompt for me based on the list that we've created previously. And so I'll copy that prompt, put it into labs here. I'll use the cheaper fast option, make sure that's selected if you've refreshed the page, and paste that prompt in, and it'll go ahead and create the next one. And so very easy way to set this up. If you want the custom GPT that I have created where it creates the prompt completely because you want it no somatic bars, no captions generated, 16:9 ratio, no watermark, all this kind of stuff. It does it all for you. The ChatGPT or the custom GPT I created is linked in the description. I'll send it to you. Just follow that that link. You also get a lot of other really useful faceless YouTube strategies that you can use for free, by the way. So feel free to join that. If you found this video helpful, leave a like. If you want to see more about how to do this in a more cinematic style, where I've created a second GPT where you don't have to do this in selfie style, but it's more cinematic film type of feel, feel free to check on the video over here. Hope you enjoy it.
I don't know where the others are. The speeder's gone. But the Star Destroyer's still up there. I have to get back. Wait, I just need that map. Don't take the blaster, just give me the power cell too.
He said there's a tower north of here, still standing. Maybe it can reach the destroyer. I just hope old Darth doesn't dock my pay for the destroyed speeder.
They came out of nowhere, ambushed me. I dropped the comms unit. I have to get out of range. They left this, why? I made it into Mos Espa. There's a contact here, says she can get me off-world, if I can pay.
North Ridge Relay, that's your only shot.
He tried to take everything. I didn't have a choice. I bonked him on the head and took the radio I needed. Signal's weak, but it's pointing at me. I think they saw it. I think they're coming. Woohoo! Yeah. They found me. It's him.